Welcome to the award-winning show, Cool Kids Cook with Kid Chef Eliana. Your host, Eliana, is a 3-time cookbook author and foodie. Listen as Eliana interviews the nation's culinary movers and shakers, explores ingredients from around the world, and shares her tasty recipes. Here's your host, Kid Chef Eliana.
Welcome to the program, Cool Kids Cook. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, a cookbook author, foodie, and your show host. Here's what's happening with me. This past weekend, I went to see Ed Sheeran's movie, and it was awesome. I'll talk all about it in a bit. It was Spirit Week at Noka, and we dressed up all week. I'll talk more about it later. It was Halloween. It's so much fun. I'll tell you all about it in a bit. Plus, I spent the night with my cousins, and I got pampered. I'll tell you all about it later. And at Noka and Culinary Arts, we did some production and we had some presentations on Germany. Tune in for more. Now, I'm excited to introduce our special guest, health and wellness expert, Doc Griggs. Doc Griggs is the awareness and advocacy persona of Dr. Eric Griggs, a New Orleans-based physician and health educator who has dedicated his professional life to increasing health and wellness awareness in the New Orleans community. He has made it his life's work to educate the community on health and well-being. Doc Griggs' mantra is, get checked, get fit, get moving. His approach transcends race and gender barriers. His ability to speak fluent Spanish allows him to utilize a comprehensive, creative approach to engage men, women, and children of both English and Spanish-speaking heritage. Doc Griggs, thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and welcome to Cool Kids Cook.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with a cool kid that cooks. How about that?
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Now, Doc, you and I met at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum, where you were a guest speaker talking about how our senses actually affect our taste for food. So, can you tell our audience about the senses of taste and how they affect our perception of food?
Wow, it's amazing how we eat with our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth. If it sounds good, it sounds like something's cooking, we'll get hungry. If it smells good, we're definitely going to eat it. And if it looks good, we're definitely going to eat it. Well, that's the way our tastes have evolved as like for survival as a survival mechanism. Our sweet, our sour, our bitter, even our umami. I always forget one. Sweet, sour, bitter, umami, and I forget the other one.
Salty.
And that's what happens when you get old. But all 5 of our tastes are from, it's been an evolutionary thing. And that's exactly what we talked about at the show. Food is fun, and food is essential.
I mean, it's crazy how our senses do affect our taste of food, something, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's kind of what it tastes like. Even though it's kind of like how when you explain how something tastes. Even if you've never tasted it, like when I say I don't like durian because it tastes like, sweaty gym socks. I've never tasted that, but because I've smelled that, I kind of just put that in my brain and that's kind of what it tastes like.
So as we explained, it was sweet, sour, salt is the one I was forgetting. Sweet, sour, salt, bitter, and umami. 80% of what the flavor of something comes from our taste. And, I like to do an experiment with people to have them pinch their nose and drink something like, let's say, a red Kool-Aid, right? If you pinch your nose, you won't know whether or not it's strawberry or cherry until you get the smell.
Yeah. That's
how cool is that?
It's so strange. You don't really think about it. You just kind of do, your daily things, and it's not something that crosses your mind like, oh, if I don't smell this, I'm not going to be able to taste it, know what the taste is.
And it's also imagery, right? So now I have a nasty taste in my mouth because I'm imagining the smell of sweaty feet right now. Thank you, Kid Chef, for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I needed that.
But yeah, exactly, that too. So it just all plays together. It's all intertwined. But so I know that most people know about like the taste, like you said, sweet, salty, bitter, and sour. But people are still learning about umami. So can you explain to our listeners what umami is?
Umami. Okay, so prepare yourself, and I would advise anyone listening to go into the kitchen and get a paper towel because you're about to start salivating. I'm about to describe umami. We've heard the marketing tagline, no one can eat this one, bet you can't eat this one. Well, umami is that. It's that savory, flavored, meaty, roasted garlic, roasted turkey flavor that just tastes so, like you got to have another bite. It's just, my mouth is watering. I can't quite get it out. That's actually the fifth sense. And it works with an enzyme, not an enzyme, an amino acid called glutamate, right? Amino acids, for kids out there listening, and adults too, amino acids build proteins, right? So as we evolved, we needed to have a mechanism, something that would be able to detect what would be able to build muscle and what would we be able to help build and nurture our bodies with protein. Well, umami is that flavor. It was discovered in the early 1900s. It's an Asian flavor that we just started recognizing in the last few decades, and it corresponds with MSG. You ever open up a bag of potato chips or Cheetos or any other little snacks and you just can't put them down?
Yes.
Yeah, you can thank your umami flavor for that. Like, is there one that gets, like I said, roasted garlic, people, they think about. But if you ever think of that perfect, that Thanksgiving turkey, that first juicy, delicious, smelling, aromatic bite that you're like, oh man, I'm so stuffed, I can't stop eating this turkey, or a good fried turkey, in Louisiana, that's what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason you can't stop eating, it's that umami on your tongue. Does that make sense?
And it's it's a really great scent. It's one of those awesome senses. It's so hard to explain to people, but it's so good.
It's the one flavor that will make you. It's the taste bud in your mouth. It's a part of your tongue that picks up that flavor that just you cannot resist. I mean, like I said, it's that juicy, rich, roasted garlic, garlic, and how do it's the fifth taste bud. It's an enhancing broth taste. Does that make sense? The reason they add the MSG, it works with glutamate.
Yeah,
glutamate, like I said, is an amino acid.
Taste.
So they put the monosodium glutamate in it to activate that pleasant, savory, delicious. My mouth is watering, so pardon me as I wipe my mouth.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so awesome. That's a great way to explain it. It's a really good one. So I'm glad people get to learn more about it.
In Japan, they call umami, it's the taste that they can't describe.
That's so true. It is definitely true. It's kind of like what I was saying. It's hard to describe. It's what it is, but you can't put it into words.
So the term itself, umami, you know what it translates to in Japanese?
I do not.
Deliciousness.
Well, that explains it. That just puts it.
There you have it.
That just explains the whole thing. It's just delicious.
Love it.
Well,
love it.
Now, I know as a medical doctor, you have a passion for getting families excited about health and fitness. So how does talking about food fit into this?
So I'm glad you asked that. So the thing is, my mantra, of course, is get checked, get fit, get moving, right? And nobody likes going to the doctor. I mean, some days I don't feel like looking in the mirror. Okay, that was a bad joke. Sorry. But yeah, seriously. Nobody likes going to the doctor. So it's hard to get people to go to the doctor regularly. So you might not go to the doctor. A lot of people don't like exercise. A lot of people don't like going to the gym. People like different things. I encourage people to do what it is that they enjoy. But I tell you what, the middle thing I tell people is get fit. Now, get fit, I relate that to nutrition. The one thing that we all do and that everyone will do that wants to live and likes to live, we'll all eat. So how exciting and how empowering and how encompassing is it to pull a family together, the family that cooks together, laughs together, loves together, stays together, and has fun together, right? So that's where you hit people in the kitchen, and you teach them, as you know, you teach them how their food can be their medicine, how their food can get them healthy. If you want to make someone's eyes light up, start talking about food.
Yeah.
And if you really want to make people, I don't know, if you know a chef, is there a chef? Do you know any chefs, especially any kids that might be chefs that know how to cook in front of people and get them excited because there's right food? And it starts when we're babies. Do you remember? Well, of course you don't remember, but you're seeing the babies when it's time to eat, how excited they get.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
that's exactly the same. It's the same response. Oh, it's time to eat. I know people that sing and dance before it's time to eat and while they eat if they're enjoying their meal. This is so good.
That's so me.
My roommate in college was like that.
Yeah, it's very important to teach people about their food and what they're eating, so they know what's going into their body, so they're not eating, all kinds of things that are like really high in sugar and like have tons of like bad fats in there, like unsaturated fats and all that. So it's really important that, that's really what gets you fit. I mean, it's also, including like exercise and, being, physically active, but a really huge portion of being fit is really just about your food and like what you're putting into your body.
Well, the other important thing, the reason that I emphasize food and I try to surround myself with people that know about food, like some kid chefs that might be on the other end and I'm talking to right now, is that think about whether some of the most important conversations that you have when you have family functions, they happen in the kitchen, right?
Yes.
When you're preparing the meals, you share. It's when you share. It's when you're most open. It's when you're more likely to have that health conversation about health. Because it's a very personal thing, and food tastes so much better when you know who cooked it or you cooked it with someone, right?
Exactly.
So that's boom. Well, I'm done. I'm done. I got the mic.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. So we could definitely talk more about some of your upcoming events in a little bit. And apple a day keeps the doctor away. We'll be right back. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, and you're listening to Cool Kids Cook. To Cool Kids Cook. I'm Kid Chef Aliana. Let's continue our interview with health and wellness expert Doc Griggs. Now, I know that you have some big events coming up this month, so can you talk about those events and what they entail?
We sure can. Wow, the first one is on next Saturday, November 14th, at the Lions Center. It's at 624 Louisiana Avenue here in New Orleans. With Dr. Calvin Mackey, I've been working with Dr. Calvin Mackey for a while now, and he has this thing called STEM NOLA. He does STEM Saturdays with Dr. Calvin Mackey. It's science, technology, engineering, and math, and it is the coolest thing since cheese, umami cheese, really good, delicious Basically what happens is he gets a gym, and this next Saturday we'll have a gym, and there'll be over 150 to 250 kids that are going to show up, and we're going to dissect sheep hearts. The kids range from age 5 all the way up to age 18, and there's different activities for the babies, the younger ones, and we'll be dissecting sheep hearts, and we will be building circulatory systems and hearts, and everyone goes away with circulatory system in a heart, and I'll also talk about the mechanisms of your heartbeat, the systolic and diastolic. It's a great way. What this is it's a great program that introduces kids at any age to science, technology, engineering, and math, and explains the why, and everybody goes home with something. So I'm uber excited about it. The website is www.stemnola.com, and I can't talk enough about it.
Awesome.
And that's next Saturday. Next Sunday, on November 15th, I'm doing it along with several of the councilmen and of New Orleans. We're doing a walk and roll, which is a family fitness bike ride and walk. We start at 10 o'clock, 3-mile bike ride, a 2-mile walk over at Sophie B. Wright on the Lafitte Greenway. And then we're going to end up at Parkway Tavern watching the Saints, cheering them on to victory, I'll say that. On November 28th, for the Bayou Classic, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, it's the 4th annual, it's the Bayou Classic 4th annual Griggs, 2 times around the dome family fitness fun walk. I started it 3 years ago, and we only got 50 to 75 people. Last year we had 600 to 700 people. We danced, we second line, we jumped rope, we played hopscotch, we did slow bike riding, we had demonstrations. You name it, we did it, but in 90 minutes, collectively, we burned 38,000 calories. And that's at the Bayou Classic at the Champion Square at 10 o'clock, Superdome. The information is, you can look up Doc Griggs Family Fitness Fun Walk at Eventbrite, and all the information is there. I can't believe I said all that in one breath.
I know. That's
wow.
Crazy. You've got all kinds of crazy things going on that are super awesome and fun. So y'all should definitely check it out. And I will be at the Bayou Classic doing a cooking demonstration, so you can come check that out as well. And I'm super excited about that. So.
Yes, you will, and I'm super excited. I'm not the best cook, but I'm a great eater.
Yes, you can eat all you want.
I eat very well.
Well, let's find out more about you personally, Doc Griggs. What's your favorite dish to cook, and what's your favorite dish to eat?
Yes, eating is good. Eating is healthy. Eating is good. That's, I believe that. Keep it simple. Eating is good.
Yes, that is. So, yeah, I know. It's hard to pick a favorite because there's so many great foods out there, and it's just like, oh my gosh, which one?
Yeah, it's really, really hard. So I grew up with a bunch of allergies. Like, I'm still allergic to seafood and nuts. Living here in New Orleans, that's kind of tough, but I don't know what I'm missing. So I'm really appreciative of most foods. The only thing I really don't like, I don't like celery. I don't like beets, and I don't do the pig innards, the chitlins. I don't do that. And I don't do slimy okra.
Yes, yeah. Well, I know there's an exception for some things. You know, everyone has those few things they just don't quite like as much.
Right.
Well,
for the most part, it's good.
Yeah, most part, yeah. Most part you pretty much like, you know, at least me, I like just about everything. I'll try anything once.
What's the name of that fruit? What's it, the Durgeon? What's the name of that?
Durian.
You'll try that?
Duria. Tastes gross. Mostly the smell overpowers the taste, you know, so it's in Asia, they really love it, and they eat it all the time. But I can't handle it. Like, it's nasty. I had to throw it away. I had it in a bubble tea, and I took a few sips, and I was like, nope, and I just threw it away.
Wow. So they actually put it in bubble tea?
Yeah, they do. They make a durian bubble tea, and it was actually, they used fresh durian, so it was just really strong, and it was gross. It was like I said, sweaty gym socks and cherry medicine put together. Not a great combination.
Now see, that's something I never have to worry about because you explained it that well. I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You'll never have to eat it.
I'm done. Good. I'll tell people I'm allergic if I have to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, can you share with our listeners your funniest or most disastrous food memory?
My most disastrous, what type of memory?
Food memory.
Oh, my most disastrous food memory? The most disastrous food memory happened when I was in residency, and a drug rep actually brought a tray of sandwiches for us to eat in between cases. Like, the anesthesiologist is the one we put people to sleep. I was rotating through, and I just finished with my patient, so I grabbed a quick sandwich, was going to the call room to go look for something, and all of a sudden, I'm chewing the bread, and the bread happened to be enriched in nuts, and I did not know it. So I ended up, my lips swelling up, my face swelling up. Long and short, got to the point that I couldn't breathe, and I ended up on the table in the recovery room with her starting to open a code on me right next to my patient. So when my patient comes to, he looks over at me in the midst of my allergic reaction with all this stuff, these IVs and all that. I just had to start laughing. He might have saved my life, actually, because I started laughing. Oh, no, they're trying to kill my doctor. Get me out of here.
It's not what it looks like.
So I ended up in the hospital for 3 days with all kinds of stuff. Food allergies are very serious, but that was a hilarious moment. It was a very serious, but a very disastrous and hilarious memory that I have. And then I'll tell you what made it even worse is all my buddies, so we're all doctors at this point, so they're coming through changing orders, trying to, you can imagine. I didn't get any sleep last night because I had to keep calling and say, look, please cancel that. No, stop. No, I don't need another needle stick. Stop.
That's funny.
Disastrous, but funny nonetheless.
That's pretty ironic that, while you're on the job as a doctor, all of a sudden you're the one that's the patient.
All of a sudden I'm the patient, and when the patient comes to, he looks at me.
That's
They're
definitely
trying to kill my doctor. You got to get me out of here.
Now, let's talk about unusual foods. What's the most unusual food you've ever eaten? Is there a food you would never eat again?
I don't know if I would. Escargot.
Yeah.
The snails, the escargot. I tried it. I understand it. I'm over it.
Okay. And I definitely know you've continuously said that you'll never eat chitlins again.
Oh, no. And if you're going to that one, I was tasting it, and I looked and I smelled it, and I asked my grandmother what it was, and my grandfather told me in a face and a term that I will, good. Oh, no, never, no, I'm good. Thank you. Never again.
No,
good.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You know what? I tell people I'm allergic.
Yeah, then they'll never put it near you.
Right.
Yeah. There's some people just they don't like that. There's always those things they don't like, and if that's one of them, some people they get over it, but in your case maybe you won't. You never know.
Well, it really goes back to what we talked about before. So we talked a little bit about how your taste and your flavor encompasses all of your senses. Well, as a chef, you try to create an experience, right, for people. Yes. So it's not just like you don't go back to a bad restaurant if you had bad service. They ruin the experience, and all of a sudden the food can be great, but that food's horrible. I don't like that place. It's the exact same thing. It was just so dramatic for my grandfather to be like, oh, it tastes like hog guts. Oh. I can't get hog guts and that smell out of my mind. So I will never go back because it was I associated with a bad experience. So that's the thing is, eating is an experience, and it should always be pleasant, and it should always be fun, and the more fun it is, the better the food tastes, and the healthier it tickles for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely... You want that experience, you want to have that delicious food that looks great, smells great, and it tastes great. It's all in one. It comes as like a package. So
It comes in a package.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. So, but like you were saying, it's like that memory. You have the olfactory nerve, and it's like the smell, and then all of a sudden the memories come flooding back, and you're just like, oh.
Not doing that. Never doing that again. I mean, again, I really cannot shake the smell that I did not smell, but you described something as smelling like cheesy feet or old socks, and I know there are some foods I smell that, like, I'm never eating that again. It takes me straight to the locker room. That's just gross.
Yes, exactly. Well, lastly, here's a wacky off-the-wall food question. If you could be any dessert in the world, what would you be and why?
If I could be any what in the world?
Dessert.
Any dessert in the... Oh, I would be creme brulee. Boom. Because creme brulee... You know why? Because creme brulee is awesome. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes, it's so good. It's like... It's sweet, and then it's got that nice, like, caramelized sugar that's all crunchy on top.
Oh, yeah. And that's a full experience. Even describing it gives you the full experience. I mean,
exactly. It's the whole experience of creme brulee is that, like, when you break through that crust of, like, that caramelized sugar, it's so good. Like, that combination is perfect. So that's definitely a good one.
Especially if they caramelize it, like they put it on your table and they have the torch and they do it in front of you. It's like, man, it's
even better.
Cool. This is just awesome.
I know. We could just go on and on. Well, thank you so much, Doc Griggs, for being a guest on Cool Kids Cook.
Thank you for having me. It's been a full experience, and I'm hungry now.
I know.
I think I'm going to go look for some creme brulee.
Well, you've shown us that we all have a taste for delicious food and that living a healthy lifestyle makes life much more fun. If you want to find out more about health and wellness expert Doc Griggs, visit KidChefEliana.com for all the links. Crunch on a carrot while we take a quick break. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, and you're listening to Cool Kids Cook. Welcome back. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, and it's Cool Kids Cook. It's time for a tisket, a tasket, what's inside my basket? Today's secret ingredient is garlic. Let's talk about garlic. Garlic is grown into what is known as a bulb. It has thin paper-like layers surrounding the individual cloves and the bulb itself. 90% of garlic grown in the United States comes from California. Garlic is also used for medicinal purposes. Are you afraid of garlic? Well, that's actually known as allium phobia. Maybe vampires have that because garlic is supposedly supposed to ward them off, if they're even real. Here's a recipe for my herb-crusted pork roast. With herbs from my garden, this pork roast came out so delicious. Ingredients: 1 cup of fresh herbs of your choice, 1 medium onion divided, 1/4 of a cup of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 2 pounds pork loin, 10 cloves garlic divided, 1 cup of chicken stock, a bag of baby carrots, and 5 to 6 medium red potatoes quartered. Directions: preheat oven to 350 degrees. In a food processor, blend herbs and 1/2 an onion and 3 garlic cloves with olive oil, salt, and pepper to create a paste. Cut slits into pork and stuff remaining garlic into pork. Coat entire pork loin with paste. Slice remaining half and place in bottom of roasting pan. Pour chicken stock into the pan. Place coated pork on top of the onions. Roast the pork covered for 4 hours. Add carrots and potatoes to pan. Roast for another hour. Turn the heat up to 400 degrees. Remove cover and cook for 15 more minutes. Serves 4 to 6. You can find all of these recipes on my website, kidchefeliana.com. If you have a secret ingredient you would like me to talk about, you can email me at eliana@kidchefeliana.com or call my U.S. toll-free number, 888-721-5915. Leave me your first name, where you're calling from, and your question. Maybe your suggestion will air on a future episode. It's time for Foodie News! I will give you an update on new food trends, cool cooking info, and the occasional strange food story. A video was posted by Rebecca King on Facebook showing how Florida Starbucks takes orders in American Sign Language. When she comes up to the drive-thru, there's a normal ordering screen. After a few seconds of silence later, a Starbucks employee's face pops up on the screen, ready to take the customer's order in sign language. Starbucks could really change the way drive-thrus work. On November 7th, 7-Eleven celebrated what they called Name Your Own Price Day. On this day, customers bought any size Slurpee and chose what they wanted to pay for the drink. They could pay a penny or $20 for a drink. But keep in mind that all the money went towards a great cause, feeding America. The Pumpacapple Pie Cake, created by Three Brothers Bakery in Texas, is selling for around $379. You can order the cake for special occasions. At 23.5 pounds, each cake can serve 40 to 50 people. It combines a pumpkin pie, a pecan pie, an apple pie, and layers of cake. Fans can now get their hands on a cake of their own. Goldbelly, an online food retailer, is now offering the Pumpacapple Pie Cake. And that's this week's Foodie News. Hey Kid Foodies, I'd love to hear from you. Tweet me. I'm at KidChefEliana. Send me your questions and ideas and we'll connect. I'm also Eliana Cook's fan page on Facebook. On Instagram and Pinterest, I'm Kid Chef Eliana, so you know where to find me. You're listening to Cool Kids Cook. This is Kid Chef Eliana, and it's time for The Cookbook Shelf. In this segment, I'll review the latest cookbooks and share it with you. Today's cookbook is Gumbo, written by Dale Curry. Now, this cookbook is actually part of Savor the South collection, and the collection celebrates beloved food or tradition of the American South, and it's written by well-known cooks and food lovers. This one is all about, the different foods here in in New Orleans and Louisiana. And it's so great. It's got all kinds of different dishes in here, from gumbo and jambalaya to the lagniappe stuff. So it's really awesome. It's got, the things like crustaceans, like crawfish and crabs, and then things like alligators, and it's so good. All the recipes in here look delicious. It, really shows that all the different, historical cultures here in Louisiana, like French, African, Caribbean, Native American, Spanish, Italian, and so many others, Creole, Cajun. It's just really great. And some of the recipes are even contributed by famous New Orleans chefs, so it's really great. There's all kinds of yummy things in here, like shrimp and okra gumbo, chicken and andouille gumbo. There's Chef Leah Chase's Creole gumbo, seafood stock, tells you how to make a roux. There's all kinds of stuff. It talks about gumbo in here, how to make a gumbo. There's like a whole intro part about, like the whole introduction about New Orleans, and it talks about gumbo, like I said. There's talks about jambalaya, lagniappe, all the little extra stuff. There's some terms in here, like definitions, so that people know what they are and how to pronounce them and all that. And there's also all kinds of other delicious things like dirty rice. I love dirty rice. Crawfish etouffee, crawfish bisque. Oh my gosh, crab and brie soup. Corn makshu, oh my gosh, that is actually one of my favorites. I absolutely love makshu. It's definitely one of my favorites in my Cool Kids Cook Louisiana. It's so good. And so you should definitely check out that cookbook. I was really excited when I got this cookbook. Now, over the past couple of weeks, I actually went to an Ed Sheeran movie. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this, but if you couldn't tell, you probably can't tell, but I'm actually really obsessed with Ed Sheeran. I absolutely love him. His voice is amazing. He's just an incredible person. He's so down to earth. I mean, I don't actually know him, but I mean, just from what I see, he really is. I love him so much. But I actually went to see his movie. It was only out for like 3 or 4 days. It was only out for a weekend, and it was called Jumpers for Goalposts. And I was so psyched to see it. I could not wait till I saw it. And then I saw it, and I was just like, oh my gosh! I was freaking out. I was so happy. I was singing like every single song because it was a concert film documentary. So I was singing all the different songs and just kind of, watching him and being amazed and wanting to just like explode on the inside. It was so awesome. I was so glad I got to see that. And I also got, to do some Halloween stuff. And here in New Orleans, it was actually, like, raining on Halloween, and so a lot of parishes moved Halloween and, like, trick-or-treating and stuff like that to Friday night, the night before. And so we thought it was, a good idea to go the night before, so we wouldn't get, like, rained out on Halloween, because, no one wants a rainy Halloween. So Friday night, my mom and I, we went to the French Quarter. So we went to Frenchman Street, which is like apparently really like hip place to be for Halloween. Like it's where all the stuff is going on, and it was really fun. I actually went as Little Red Riding Hood, and I spent $0 on my costume. It was so awesome. I used, like, my last year's Alice in Wonderland dress. It was, like, just a plain blue dress with the collar. And I had a checkered apron already, and I just, like, folded it down and wrapped it around. I had a cape already that I just tied around, and I put a scarf underneath and put it over my head underneath the cape so it looked like a hood. And, like, you couldn't even tell it wasn't attached. It looked so awesome. I was so proud of it. I looked just like Little Red Riding Hood, like the red lipstick and, like, everything. And I actually got a lot of compliments on my costume, which is really awesome. I was super proud of it. But it was really fun. My mom went as a circus ringmaster, and we were so cute together. So we just kind of strolled down Frenchman. I saw all kinds of cool costumes. Like, as you know, my favorite food is tacos. And I saw someone dressed as a taco, and I was so excited about that. I saw a bunch of food ones. I saw a hot dog and a hamburger as well. I saw some bananas. I'm surprised I didn't see pizza. I wish I would have. And then there was like a brass band playing on Frenchman, and we just kind of danced and listen to them. We went to the Frenchman Arts Market and went to Dat Dog and had some of the chili, I don't know, it was like the cheesy bacon ranch fries. They were really good, and just kind of people watched, and it was really fun. And then on Halloween night, I actually spent the night with my cousins, and I got pampered. It was really awesome. My cousin was like, "Can I do your makeup?" I was like, "Sure." So she did my makeup, and then my other cousin, she did my hair, and it was just a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to spend time with them and have fun with them, so it was really awesome. Well, time for a piece of pumpkin apple pie cake. We'll be right back. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, and you're listening to Cool Kids Cook. Welcome back to Cool Kids Cook. I'm Kid Chef Eliana, and it's time for Figure Out This Food. I have a game on my Facebook page called Figure Out This Food. I post a close-up of a food item, and the first 3 guesses get a shout-out here. Congratulations to Roberto Catikaru for guessing guava. Let's talk about guava. Guava actually grows in the form of evergreen shrubs or small trees. They're cultivated in varieties that usually get up to 20 feet. Guava has the glossy dark green leaves, and they're oval in shape. The leaves are oppositely arranged on the branches. Fruit of the guava is oval or pear-shaped or round. The flesh can be white, yellow, pink, or red. Fruit of the guava contain between 100 and 500 small seeds in the center of the fruit. The seeds are edible, but some varieties of guava are seedless. The guava tree wood is actually used for smoking meat. Guava is a perennial plant, and it usually lives to about 40 years. It's snacktivity time. Here, I give you fun, easy breezy snack ideas. Today's snacktivity is German potato salad. Now, this German potato salad is really easy and delicious. Ingredients: 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, 2 tablespoons of flour, half a cup of onion chopped, 2 tablespoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of vinegar, 1 cup of water, half a pound of bacon cooked and crumbled, 6 cups of sliced cooked potatoes, and a dash of pepper. Directions: saute onion in bacon grease until tender. Blend flour, sugar, salt, and pepper. Add vinegar and 1 cup of water. Cook and stir until thick and bubbly. Add bacon and potatoes. Toss lightly. Served warm. Serves 6 to 8. Hey young chefs, this is Kid Chef Eliana, and it's time for Creative Cuisine. This is a recipe for my Sloppy Joes. These Sloppy Joes are so quick and easy, and they have lots of great flavor. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon of olive oil, half a cup of diced onions, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1 pound of ground beef, 1 cup of crushed tomatoes, 1/4 of a cup of light brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and salt and pepper to taste. Directions. In a medium pan, saute onions and garlic in olive oil over medium heat. Add ground beef and cook until brown. Drain fat. Add back to heat and stir in remaining ingredients. Simmer and stir occasionally for about 10 minutes or until thickened but still saucy. Scoop onto hamburger buns. Serves 4. It's time for kitchen crafts. Here's a fun kitchen-related craft. Today's kitchen craft is how to make chalkboard jars. Supplies: glass jar, painter's tape, chalkboard paint, small foam paintbrush, and chalk. Instructions. Step 1. Using painter's tape, outline a square on a glass jar. Step 2. Paint the inside of the square on the glass jar with a paintbrush. If you need a second coat, allow the first coat to dry for at least an hour. Step 3. Allow it to dry for a full 24 hours. Step 4. Now you can write whatever you want on the chalkboard and erase it. The instructions, along with photos, are on my website for this week's episode on KidChefEliana.com. And don't forget to connect with me on Twitter and Facebook. I'm at KidChefEliana on Twitter and Eliana Cooks fan page on Facebook. Be sure to hit that like button. I like you, and I hope you like me too. If you're listening to the show on iTunes, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show. The more reviews we get, the more young chefs we can reach. And remember, my Parent Choice Approved, award-winning cookbook, Cool Kids Cook Louisiana, and my newest cookbook, Cool Kids Cook Fresh and Fit, are available at any online book retailer. Now, I had an awesome week at Noka, and it was actually Spirit Week this past week at Noka, and it was so much fun. I absolutely loved Spirit Week. We did a Spirit Week last year, but they changed up the days. Like last year they had Middle School Monday, dress up in your middle school uniform, things like that. But this year it was different. We had different days. I was really excited about that. On the first day on Monday, it was Animal Day, so, just dress up like an animal. So I was a leopard. I mean, I feel like everyone was like the stereotypical, like, I don't know, it's kind of cliche to be like a cat. Like a lot of people were cats. But it was like one of the only things I could choose from with the stuff that I already had. And so I was like, oh well, I like it. It's a good one. And I had like leopard headband ears, I had a leopard dress I already owned, and I had these like leopard gloves that had like little paw prints on the front, and then a leopard tail. So it was really cute, and I drew like the nose and the whiskers on my face, so that was really fun. And then they had a lot of good ones. I mean, of course, there were, like I said, were cats, but there are people that are like snakes and birds, I don't know, all kinds, bunnies and all kinds of different ones. So it was really cute. Then on that, and then the Tuesday, it was different on Tuesday. I know on Wednesday we had a pajama day. Tuesday was Decades Day. So it was just up, it was as in any decades. But a lot of people dressed in lots of different decades. I mean, I saw a lot of 80s. I actually did 80s myself. My friend and I, Demetrius and I, we did 80s together. But a lot of people did different ones. Like, people did 20s, like Flapper Girls, and 40s with, like, the polka dots. So it was really, really cute. I loved it a lot. There was, like, 70s and 90s, but I really liked it. So for 80s, it was actually I think it was one of my favorite days that week, my 80s costume. It was so awesome. I had, like, a hot pink tank top, and then I had, like, this black shirt over it, and then I did, like, the off-the-shoulder. I had these zebra arm warmers. I had, like, one of those, like, poofy tutu-looking skirts. I had like this studded belt, set like on my hips, and then I wore fishnets with my Converse and leg warmers. And then I put my hair up really in a really high side ponytail, like basically on top of my head, and like had it in a scrunchie. So it was really awesome. I was so proud of that. I like literally didn't want to take it off. I thought it looked so good. And then of course I had to do like the hot pink lipstick. Like it was so awesome. I really love that one. Then like I said, Wednesday was pajama day, which was awesome. It was so much fun. A lot of people wore onesies. I wore a onesie myself. It was actually a gray and pink leopard onesie. I loved the pajama day. I think everyone did, because all you really had to do was roll out of bed. And that's actually what I literally did. I woke up late that morning, and I already had my pajamas on, so I was like, awesome! All I have to do is stick my slippers on, and I'm ready to go. I got ready in 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I don't think I've ever gotten ready that fast. That was so awesome. I even brought a pillow to school, and it was actually a pillow that if you unzip it, it turns into a blanket, and then you can zip it back up into a pillow. It was really awesome. And so we had a quiz that day, and after I took my quiz, I took a nap, and the teacher said it was fine. So I took a nap in class for like half an hour. And then after, while I was waiting after I got out of all my classes and everything, when I was waiting for my ride, I took a nap. Like, I was sitting on the concrete wall, and I just took a nap. And fell asleep with my onesie on, and I had my hoodie over my head. Thursday we had class color day, and sophomores, our class color was purple. So I had a purple Wicked shirt, like the play, the musical or whatever. And so I wore that, and I had this like purple headband witch hat on. It was really cute. And I had like these gray and purple Converse. And then on the last day was the Halloween dress-up day. And for Halloween dress-up day, I did Little Red Riding Hood. Like I told you earlier, I was actually Little Red Riding Hood for Halloween, and I loved my Little Red Riding Hood costume so much that I wore it for Halloween. And I even brought a basket with actual muffins inside that I made from scratch, and I handed them out to people. So I even did that. It was so awesome. And throughout the whole week, they had like this point tracker. Like we played different games throughout the week to see which class would win. And sophomores were winning, and then other people were winning, like freshmen and the seniors. And the seniors ended up winning. But you know, it was all fun and games, even though they do get a pizza party, but you know, I could just make my own pizza. And then in culinary, we did some production. We're working. We're doing like some production for our Noka Marketplace that's now open. You can like buy stuff, and we're prepping for an Emerald Lagasse luncheon, and we also after we get with this luncheon finished, and then we have we have our Thanksgiving break. So like after we have Thanksgiving break, when we come back, we're going to be moving into Germany. But we actually did our Germany presentations already, just to kind of get our feet wet in Germany. And it was like different groups. We all presented something different. So my group, we did German pastries. There were other groups that did like produce and agriculture and like the seafood and just all different things. So it was a really awesome. So I really loved my weekend Nook. It was pretty awesome. I liked it a lot. Well, that's all for this week. I leave you with this quote from Oprah. Failure is a great teacher, and if you are open to it, every mistake has a lesson to offer. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Kid Chef Aliana with Cool Kids Cook. Bon appetit. I'll see you next week.